Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Malikicowtipper, going to bring you guys another game of StarCraft 2, and tonight we are going to be adjusting sound options right away, because when we do not adjust sound options, we have to go back through and we have to record games. So anyway, returning to the game, tonight my opponent will be JayPrimer, so we're going to go right into this game, and just a pretty awesome game as far as StarCraft 2 games go. A lot of I think most of the game is action, all things considering. Like, most StarCraft 2 games are maybe 20 to 30% action, and the rest of the time is spent, building up, anticipating, and sometimes hoping that that action just, excuse me, doesn't come towards you. But in this case, it's really hard. There's very few moments where it just is not in your face 100% of the time. So, JayPrimer is the red Protoss in the upper right-hand corner of Zelnaga Caverns, and I am the blue Zerg in the lower left-hand corner. So, I've already gone over this multiple times in my other videos, but if you guys are first-timers to my videos, I love this map for Zerg. I really don't know why it shouldn't be that big of a Zerg favorite map, because there's just so many places where you're naturally going to get expanded. I mean, attack gets wide open, and all the expansions are just wide open, but that does give you room where, if you're managing your army properly, you can use these wide open places to kind of fight, and just use that to your advantage. So, a couple cool things going down right now. Sending out an Overlord, and I'm going to park him right out in front of these minerals over here. Great place to have your Overlord, because you can catch and see him when they're going to expand, and it gives you an idea of how you're going to play. So, watch right here. Oops, stopped the gateway, and then we're going to keep stopping the gateway. So that was about 4 seconds ago. Let's see how long I can delay his gateway. Right now this probe's sitting there like, dude, fuck you, I really want to expand. And then, so we're going on about 20 seconds right now that gateway has been delayed, continuing to pull it back, and I'm just going to keep, oh, he's not going to be able to sneak it in right there. There he gets it in, and that gateway was delayed for almost 30 seconds, and even on this fast expand that I'm going to be doing right here, I mean, realistically speaking, do I have a drone going out for my fast expand? I'm pretty sure I have a fast expand build right here. Wow, I was probably just marveling at how awesome that gateway block was right there, that my APM, or my actions, are just completely slipping. This gate expansion could have been going a little bit sooner, but, at the end of the day, it's a few seconds, so I guess the few seconds I picked up over here kind of negated by the fact that I lost a few seconds over here in my excitement, but dropping down my extractor right afterwards, and there goes my spawning pool. So what's kind of cool is his gateway is just finishing, my spawning pool is just going down. And normally speaking, by the time I lay my spawning pool, the gateway is just about finished. So the idea is that every little pickup counts. I've still got my drone over here alive, and actually I did manage to pick off one of his probes while I was over here. So he's down a probe, which is kind of nice. So there goes the cyber core, there goes the gateway, and just gonna keep this guy over here alive as long as possible and scout this build, because I've seen some Protoss drop that second gateway with the cyber core to kind of try to trick you out, especially if they want to go something just a little bit goofy, like say throw it on a starport, as soon as that cyber core is completed. But in this case, when I see the third gateway going down, I know that he's not really messing around at that point. It's going to be a 4-gate. I probably could stay around and watch to see if there's going to be a chrono boost dropped on the cyber core. That's usually the last and final giveaway, but I'm actually going to pull back for right now, and I'm going to go back and tend to my base. So, harvester count dead even right now. Just want to check out the APM tab, and holy, 100 above average. Nice, that's what I'm shooting for, so makes me incredibly happy. Let's keep going back right here to the harvester count. So there goes the chrono boost on the cyber core. Now, generally speaking, and check this out, he's already putting up an ice cream stand down here. If you guys watch one of my other videos, anytime I see one of these proxy pylons, I'll tend to refer to it as an ice cream stand. Only this isn't the kind of ice cream stand that brings you all the good stuff in the world that you want. This is the kind that brings hard, painful Protoss death upon you everywhere. So, generally speaking, and this is actually incredibly fast in his part, even though his gateway was built, they'll have the cyber core with the warp gate up and ready by about 5.5 to 6 minutes. It doesn't give you much time, but right now what I'm trying to do is macro up and get ahead of him as much as I can, and then right around that 6-7 minute mark, somewhere in between there, depending on how safe I'm feeling, I'm going to start pushing out a lot of troops once my economy takes over, because the Protoss at this point can continue to build probes and continue to saturate while he's building troops, especially once this 4-gate is up and running, which, as you can see, will be in a very, very short period of time, less than 10 seconds. In my case right here, if we check out the army tab, fairly even army composition so far, but right now, right when these gateways get up and running, the Zealot and Sentry are going to move out, and he's going to start warping in troops right back here. Now, this is what I've got to be really careful of. My income right now is good at 22. I spread out my harvesters, and what this does, if you saturate this one fully and then start working on this one down here without doing a drone migration or anything like that, you actually end up with a base that is empty considerably faster than your other base is empty, and that's really not what you want in this part of the game. So if we look at the production tab, I have one roach, I've got metabolic boost going down, 2 more roaches. So right now, about 6.5 minutes, I'm starting to go into unit production mode, hardcore. Now I'm going to catch these two moving over here. I'm going to see them with my Overlord, and right here comes in. That's what we're talking about right there. So that's 2 production cycles, 8 units. We check out the army composition, 950 to 325. That's a huge difference. I need my roaches. I need more troops right now. What I should be doing is migrating all these workers, this queen, everyone right back as soon as I see this push coming in. And we're going to see how I react to this. Now, no speed for my lings, and what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to be very careful not to throw my troops away like that roach, the queen right there, and just try to fight these guys on my own terms. Now, right now, he blocks me off, good move, and as you can see, I'm really not doing a good job doing that whole fight on my own terms thing. I was not even macroing my roaches. Got one more roach coming out right there, and just keeping up the production tab. I have 5 more units with roaches coming out. He's continuing to reinforce with stalkers into his base, and these roaches going to go down. The pressure from the Zealots just a little bit too much. Going to try to micro this guy back, and right here, these roaches jumping right into melee mode, I guess. 3 more roaches coming up from behind me. I guess the only thing that those roaches did was keep these Zealots out of the game, and now they're actually going through and they're sniping out my workers. So if we jump back to the income tab, he's ahead of me by 2. I've lost my queen, so I've lost most of these workers. I didn't migrate them properly. What I'm still able to do, though, is continue to fund Zerglings and fund roaches. Now, taking a look at this, I'm just about ready to clean this up. I got a few lings, got a few roaches on the field, but he's going to continue to reinforce. Now, this is what you got to look out for when they're doing this, because he's going to either build Zerglings or not Zerglings. He's either going to build Zealots or Stalkers. Now, if you notice that there's a lot of Stalkers out in the field, you at that point need to build a lot of Zerglings because they're incredibly effective when it comes to countering these Stalkers. But at that point, if he does a tech switch over to Zealots to counter them, which he undoubtedly will, you then need to tech back to roaches. So it's kind of the game. Now, this is actually kind of cool. What I did is I came up from the north right here. I didn't engage him right here where all my roaches could be shot at. The idea was if I come up through here, I can hopefully pick off the first one, maybe even the second one, before these guys can even shoot at me. And just give myself every little advantage that I can. Pulling back, I've got a nice little group of roaches right here, and I can actually use those to micro back these Zealots. They're pre-charge, pre-speed, so continuing to push him back, and I really cannot afford to let this hatchery fall. I need the larva. Right now I'm producing overlords because I'm actually supply capped, and more Zerglings coming out. He has not been producing. He has a few drones, not drones, probes coming out, and I just have to put my troops up there. What I'm trying to do is keep the Zealot number low because as of right now, I will be pushing out a larger number of Zerglings to try to deal with these Stalkers that he has back over here. And as we can see, because I've got roaches, he has Stalkers. In return, I'm producing 16 sets of Zerglings. This is kind of the back and forth that you'll see in a lot of these battles. So when you're doing this micro action, you keep the Zealot number down, and then right now I'm just trying to buy time for these roaches, for these lings to pop. And now that these lings are popping right now, even though my roaches are going down, all 16 of these Zerglings, and now I'm producing 5 roaches. The reason why I'm producing 5 roaches, you'll see in just a minute, these Zerglings are going to do a pretty good job at cleaning up these Stalkers. Here come 4 Zealots. So, that's the back and forth. 7 roaches coming out, so I'm really anticipating more Zealots coming out. This hatchery is more than likely going to fall. And come on, where are my roaches? And another really key factor as to why... Oh, there goes the hatchery. But another key factor as to why I'm able to, for the most part, hold this attack off, although he did definitely succeed in what he wanted to do, was the fact that with your queen, the first thing you want to do is drop a creep tumor and get that creep highway going, because roaches, pre-speed, I have not had the mineral or the gas to research this. They would not be there quick enough, and I could not micro against my opponent. But right here, the banglings are actually going to come up, and they're going to do a decent job at wearing down those Zealots, just doing every little thing that they can. These Zealots easily going to be picked up by the roaches. And then right here, I'm going to be able to shut this attack down, push him back into the high ground. But there comes more and more Stalkers. So this is what you really have to be careful of, is the fact that when they put these ice cream stands or proxy pylons, if you want to be all technical about it, right outside your base, they can reinforce. These slow Protoss units can be right there, right where they need to be, and it just really creates an entire world of hurt. It's not what you want to be in, but if we take a look at this right now, income tab, he's not continued to build probes during his attack. If he could have been building a few more, but honestly, he's at saturation. There really isn't that much of a need. But as we can see, he's training more right now. He's pulling back because the damage has been done. And what he's going to do now is he's going to expand like any good Protest would. In the back of an attack, it would have been nice to see that, expansion go down, and he is sitting on a heavy amount of Chrono Boost energy, but there's really not much he can do. That was a very micro-intensive battle. So what I need to do right now is I need to get my expansion back up and running as soon as possible, and I also need to start producing drones because I am under saturation right now, and I need to kick back. So the one thing I'm hoping is that he doesn't just pull back and, do a couple more production cycles and then attack again, because if he does, he'll easily be able to outdo me as far as that goes, because on one base, even spawning larva, the 4 gauge should probably overpower the Zerg, and being that I was under saturation, I didn't migrate my workers during that attack and just let them die is really going to hurt me. So my plan, and I'm trying to think like the Protoss right now, and I'm actually morphing it over here. Let's just see what I can see. So I have not noticed what he's doing yet, but I'm going to try to do a double expand and take the gold. I figure if I can get in control of the high yield over here and taking a look at this, he is not expanding it. I can see that. And going back over here, I'm going to catch it, his probe, over here with the expansion. So that tells me one of two things. Either he is building up, just doing production cycles, getting troops, and what he's actually doing is transitioning over to Void Rays. I like this play because after what just happened, I'll more than likely be thinking he's going to go straight into Colossus. And at that point, I'm going to continue to build more Roaches. More than likely not Hydras, because Hydras generally tend to be Colossus food. But building Void Rays, the last thing I'm going to think of doing is building the Hydras I'm going to need to take these guys down. So now that he's expanding, I can still not see that the expansion is going down. My Overseer is quite not in the right position. That kind of stinks. And I'm going to try to continue to spread my creep, because that's going to be a big part. We take a look at the income tab right now. I'm back ahead, 30 to 29. So what I did is, as soon as this hatchery was up and running, I migrated a large number of my workers right away from my main, just because of how stripped down some of these patches we're getting. You can see that a couple of these will be dead pretty soon, and threw them all on the full patches just to get the maximum mining potential that I could. Expanding up here, and this is going to be kind of my gamble, is to take this dual expand now. He's pushing out, he has 3 Void Rays on the field, a healthy number of Stalker and Colossus with 1 Sentry, and checking out the production tab. I have speed for my Roaches, an Overlord, I have a Queen for down here, but there's one thing you're not going to be seeing out of me right now, and that is nothing to counter these Void Rays. Just so super annoying. But what I'm doing right now is I ran a couple Lings up here, and that catches the expansion, and right here is when I see the Void Rays, and the oh shit mechanism that is built into every human being.